darling, come with me.
Little darling, come with me.
Won't you help me share my load?
Won't you help me share my load?
From the dark end of the street to the bright side of the road. And into this life we're born. And baby, sometimes we just don't know why. And time seems to go by so fast. In the twinkling of an eye. Let's enjoy it while we can.
Let's enjoy it while we can.
Won't you help me sing my song?
Won't you help me sing my song?
Little darling, come along to the bright side of the road. Life we're born. And baby, sometimes we just don't know why. And time seems to go by so fast. In the twinkling of an eye. Let's enjoy it while we can.
Let's enjoy it while we can.
Won't you help me sing my song?
Won't you help me sing my song?
Little darling, come along to the bright side of the road. From the dark end of the street.
From the dark and lonely street.
To the bright side of the road.
To the bright side of the road.
We will meet you once again on the bright side of the road. We will meet you once again on the bright side of the road. We will meet you once again on the bright side of the road.
Tennis, Burnett, and the Queen Street Band. Welcome to the bright side of the road. How is everyone this morning? Amazing. Great to hear it. So welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Toronto. My name is Jonathan Zenz. I'm the spiritual director here, and it is such a joy to be welcoming you here and having you join us this morning in consciousness and in awareness. We are a spiritual community that comes together every Sunday for a purpose of understanding that there is a single power in this universe, and that power is love. And that's the only creative factor that there is. And so that's what we celebrate here. That's what we celebrate. One of the things I loved Jackie's meditation this morning, one of the things that she said in her meditation is life is a celebration. Doesn't that sound like a good thing? Shouldn't life, all of life is a celebration. And so let's let that be our guiding principle today, that we are celebrating life and that life is the celebration. And that's what I'm going to do this morning. How about you? Yeah. All righty then. There's another thing that she said in her meditation, and that is spirit is diversity and unity all at once. Spirit is diversity and unity all at once. You didn't know that I was paying such close attention, did you? Spirit is diversity and unity all at once. And that's kind of a hard concept for people sometimes to really understand. But here's what it basically means. The core of who you are is spiritual in nature. All of who you are is spirit. All of who you are is the expression of a creative energy, that is love. And you get to utilize that in your own unique manner. That's what makes diversity. And yet we are all unified because at the core, We are all born of the same stuff, spirit. And so let's let that be our guiding principle, including celebrating life today. All right? Okay. You're all very kind and quiet today. Yes. Well, let's take it up a notch then. We're going to go ahead and do this wonderful chant. Here we go. It's very simple. You don't need to look at the lyrics. You'll pick them up very quickly. But if you feel so moved to stand up and allow your body to engage in the energy of this music, of this song, of this chant, then I invite you to do so. And allow yourself to really hear and embody these words. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. Okay, here's how this works. You can choose one of those two parts. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. And that fits in very well if you want to just sing, I am opening. Let's try it. Choose a part. Here we go. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. All right. I am opening in this moment to a deeper understanding and a deeper commitment to spiritual principle and spiritual practice, which I needed it this week very much. It's what I'm talking about today is a little bit of a departure from the usual. And I think that we all sense that there's a shift in the world happening. We're seeing the news. We're seeing what's happening in this world. And here's where I want to start today. Let us allow ourselves to be fully present to this experience right here and right now, for we are immersed in love. We are immersed in light, in the here and now, in this present moment. The truth is we're always immersed in that love and in that light. Sometimes it's just hard to see it and feel it. But right here, right now, let us all make the decision to be completely aware of the love and the light that we inherently are, and that we are swimming in this sea of beautiful receptivity. This center is a place where it is our mission to provide inspiring programs and to also fun events and to really give into learning. And we take from many philosophies, many faith traditions to really engage in this practice of deepening ourselves into being spiritual. There are people in this center who have really given their lives over to this practice and committed themselves on a daily basis to practice the principles of spirituality. And I am so grateful for their service here in this center. I'm so grateful for their service in the world. And it is always a pleasure when I get to introduce one of our licensed practitioners, and I get to do that every week. Speaking today is a woman who I adore and who has taught me a lot about myself, and here's the great news, she is always challenging me to know something more and to go deeper. And I suspect she is about to do this not just for me, but for every single one of us here today. So please welcome with her words of wisdom today, Judy Southern.
Thank you. Thank you, Jonathan. I need to move this back. Just a sec. I need to move this back. Because I can't step back and look around because you'll know when I tell you what's going on in my life with my vision.
You can change the thermostat.
Metaphorical, metaphysical, and physical. Hi.
Hi.
Boy, life can change on a dime, can't it? It can just change in a heartbeat. For the better or for what feels like not so good. And what I also know is that prayer works. Prayer works. And I experienced both of those last week. Life changing in a heartbeat for what didn't feel so good. And prayer working. I got to witness how prayer works. I also know, as Emerson says, Ralph Waldo Emerson, once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. I witnessed that last week also. So the story is, I have cataracts. And I've had cataracts in my eyes for a while. I've also studied natural vision improvement. Sometimes a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing because sometimes it holds you back from doing possibly what I could have done maybe a while ago, but I was very resistant. Resistant to the process and even resistant to what I didn't know about the cost. So I was humming and hawing and listening. I've tried drops. I've tried everything. I've done vision therapy. But then I was fearful. I was fearful of the surgery. I don't get sick, and I don't go to doctors very often, and I don't think I've been in a hospital once or twice. So I was very uncomfortable with making a decision to do something about the cataracts in my eyes, which now have become a little uncomfortable. But I happened to be in the presence of Reverend Barbara, who used to be the minister here before Jonathan. I haven't seen her for a long time, but I was in her presence in May doing something with her. And she talked about the cataracts that she had removed. And she talked about the beautiful eye surgeon, the ophthalmologist, who did a wonderful job. And what I heard her say that gave me confidence was that another eye doctor looked at her eyes for something else and said, "Wow, who did that? That is amazing." And I said, "Okay, that's for me. I got to see this woman. I have to see this ophthalmologist. I'm ready now. I'm making the decision to see clearly." Because I don't see clearly right now. I can't see you clearly. And I haven't seen clearly since I stood up here all the time. And I don't like it anymore. I'm not comfortable with it. And it's hard to read this stuff too. So I made a decision. And the universe has conspired to make it happen. You wouldn't believe this. I went to my family doctor on Tuesday. And I said, "Okay, I want a referral to this particular ophthalmologist." And she said, "Okay," took my blood pressure, bang on, 120/80. I never had blood pressure problems. I wonder if she took it after she gave me the bad news, if she took it then, if it would have changed. She did suspend my driver's license. She did a very crude visual test, and I knew what the answer would be. And I just sat there and I said, "Okay, this can't happen to me. This just can't happen to me. I have to drive. If I don't drive, I can't work. I have a part-time job, and I'm developing a couple of services to offer. I said, if I can't drive, I can't work, I can't eat, I will starve, and that's the truth of it." And I'm a little dramatic, but I had to put pressure on this woman. So I said, "That's the truth. So what are we going to do? How are you going to help me get over this problem? And I need it now." The universe is conspiring to make this happen. I told her I'm developing a service. There's a company, a healthcare company, that is interested in my dementia care talks, and they send me out from time to time. And there may be some stuff happening in September, I am led to believe. I'm also developing, and along with practitioner studies, I got some further training from Reverend Barbara on delivering memorial services to people who want a non-denominational memorial service, because I see death now, a celebration of life. I see that totally different now, and especially experiencing my husband's passing, I'm very comfortable with that. So I've been walking into funeral homes, handing out my cards, long-term care homes. I even went to my bank, and I was talking to my bank manager about something else, and I said, here's my card, here's what I'm doing now. And he said, oh, if you had given this to me a week ago, I would have had 6 people for you to talk to. Who knew that you could network in a bank to give memorial services? This was amazing, so wonderful. So I was really quite overwhelmed by what my family doctor did, and she did her job. And I know she did her job. She's a young medical student out of med school. I can't say anything else about that. She did her job. So she gave me another opportunity to speak to somebody on Thursday at that same clinic, and I was to talk about how I was going to get some additional transportation while I awaited this. And I know it takes a long time to get an appointment with a specialist. Oh, and she said to me, you'll get an appointment in a couple of months. And, another 5 months or so, you'll have the surgery. And I said, oh, I can't do that. I just can't do that. So Thursday, I went to see this other person, and I thought, I'm going to go to the ophthalmologist's office today, because she's in the same building. And I went in there, and I stood at the desk, and I said, I need an appointment with so-and-so. My family doctor has sent a referral. Do you have it? And they dug deep into their file folder, and they found it. And they said, oh, we're booking for February. And they must have seen, my energy was obvious. I got very teary-eyed, and I said, I can't do that. I can't do that. So they madly looked at maybe August I could come in for an initial appointment. And I was visibly distressed. And there were 2 women there, and these beautiful souls. The universe makes this happen. This one beautiful soul said to me, are you okay? I said, no, I'm not. I am not okay, and I don't know what I'm going to do. She said, here, take this intake form, fill it in, we'll see you right now. I was overwhelmed with gratitude at how the universe works. I have an appointment on August the 9th to have my surgery. What? All this stuff that I put myself through, and my practitioner colleagues know I'd sit somewhere where I could see. Just amazing, just amazing. But the woman who is the assistant to the ophthalmologist, she, after I had all the tests, all the bright lights and all the drops, and I was very teary-eyed through all of this, but she managed to see whether my eyes were in good shape, and they're in excellent shape, except for the cataracts. They have to come out, and she's going to put new ones in. I chose my prescription, because I know a little bit about vision therapy. I've studied a little bit, so I said, give me -2. That'll be great. That's all I want. That'll be fabulous. So, and I've been saying to my friends, and she said, that's great, we'll do 2-ish, that's fine. She's so skilled. I have such confidence in her, because I have to be with somebody I can trust. That's the thing with me when it comes to traditional medical care. So, when I was speaking to the woman, one of her assistants, who took me aside and gave me all the paperwork, I have a lot to do, blood work, physical, get everything fitted and everything else, and she said, here's all the details. And she said, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm okay. I said, prayer works. And this beautiful woman said, yes, God always comes through. So we had this beautiful connection. I've been meeting so many people, taxi drivers, who have very spiritual connections. I've met so many wonderful souls this week as I ride the rails, the York Transit System and the TTC, and walking a lot. And I've said to my friends, I want this done before the end of August. Before I went to the doctor, I want to be able to see clearly by the end of August. I'm ready for what September and the fall is bringing me. And I said to the assistant, well, how long for the second eye? Because I can drive after the first eye is done. And she said, 3 weeks. I said, the end of August. And she said, yes. I said, prayer really does work. Isn't that wonderful? And I saw my family doctor. When I left the office, I saw my family doctor leave the building, and I said, hey, I have an appointment on August the 9th to have my right eye done. And she just looked at me and she said, that never, ever happens. I said, I know, but prayer works. Prayer works. My cup runneth over with gratitude. It was just, I cried all day. I couldn't stop crying. I was just sort of teary-eyed over everything. There's just been so many blessings come into my life since then. Even the news of losing my driver's license, suspending it, and telling the Ministry of Transportation that this person can't drive, so now I have to figure that one out too, even that's a blessing. Because if I hadn't created a crisis and said, I'm going to starve, if I hadn't said that to her, this would not have happened. this would not have happened. So prayer works. So we are not victims. We can choose in any situation to be a victim or a benefactor of the good. So my affirmation today comes from the Science of Mind magazine. I just took it. Today, I tap into my inner power supply and operate from that source. I invite you to say it 2 times with me. Today, I tap into my inner power supply and I operate from that source. Today, I tap into my inner power supply and I operate from that source. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, life.
Thank you, Judy. Take a breath. There are songs that call out to be expressed sometimes. This was one of those songs this week. I'll talk a little bit about that. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. So taking a breath, relaxing into this moment, I invite Judy to lead us all in affirmative prayer.
Oh, let it be, let it be. Step out of the way and let it be. There is good everywhere, and I know for sure, I know there is one mind, one spirit, one infinite intelligence that flows through everything and everyone, and it is always creating, and it is the power back of all creation. And we are one with this because this power created each of us out of itself, out of its love, out of its self-givingness. That is who we are. I know who we are. I remember who we are. And as we step out of the way, Spirit, intelligence, the divine presence knows what to do. Everything is in divine order if we let it be. Just let it be. All is unfolding. In spite of appearances, all is unfolding in divine right order. I release these words. I release these words with gratitude. Gratitude for the good, for the blessings. Gratitude for being able to step out of the way and be a benefactor to the good and not a victim. I release these words to the law. I let it go. And together we say, and so it is.
Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be.
Take it, Tanis.
And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine on till tomorrow, let it be. wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer. Let it be. 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 Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be.
Thank you, Judy, for that. Thank you to the band. There are songs that sometimes just call out to be expressed, and this was, like I said before, this is one of those songs. We had actually chosen something else earlier in the week to be in this spot, and then what happened, Tanis? You were at the...
So when I'm picking songs for the week, if we haven't discussed anything, it's like, oh, I have free reign. I just let what needs to be heard.
Yeah.
And often I get inspiration in the strangest places, often Loblaws, when I'm grocery shopping, because my neighborhood has a great soundtrack. So I'm shopping on Tuesday, and Let It Be came on, and I went, oh, okay, we haven't done that for since November, December. Probably time to put it back in the rotation. Filed it away in my head. Came home, went to pick the music, opened up my first binder, boom, Let It Be was there. I was like, okay, tucked it away, picked a different song. Next morning, and I sent the list out to the band. Here's what we're doing. Next morning, I was doing yoga and going into Shavasana, the meditation part, and the first words out of the teacher's mouth were, let it be. And I went, okay. I got it. So often that's how the music comes to be in a week, but that would, and then all things kind of went cockeyed in the world. It was like, okay, that's why it was coming out. So that was that.
Thank you for sharing that. You know, in the same way that when we make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. We should also be willing to listen to what the universe is offering to us. Because the universe is always, always, always working in our favor for our highest good. And the only time that things go awry in our lives is really when we stop listening to it. So I invite you to allow yourself to listen. Allow yourself to listen. Featured song, the featured song of the day today is a beautiful Pierre Gautreau original. And it is a Pierre Gautreau original, yes, yes, yes. I know it is, and in that moment I thought, wait, is it? But it is. So please welcome Pierre Gautreau and the Queen Street Band.
Sometimes it just sticks around. Even though it's nowhere to be found. Keep pulling the past into our present now. You think that we'd have learned by now. Pack it up and seal it tight. Send your baggage on a one-way flight. On a one-way flight. On a one-way flight. Out of your mind's sight. Here's the thing we have to know. Deal with it, then let it go. when the bags are too heavy, we can't take flight. Keep only what you need to make you soar with your inner light. And there are no victims, only volunteers. Right here, so pack it up and seal it tight. Send your baggage on a one-way flight. On a one-way flight. Don't look back, eyes straight ahead. Reliving the past will mess with your head. Stay in the moment and breathe real deep. Peace of mind is what you'll breathe. Oh, yeah. Pack it up and seal it tight. Send your baggage on a one-way flight. On a one-way flight. On a one-way flight. Out of your mind's sight. Then here's the thing we have to know. Deal with it, then let it go. Thank you.
Here go Trove and the Queen Street Band. Yes, yes, yes. How are y'all feeling? Good. Grateful to hear that. I've had a rough week. That's just the truth. The theme for July is loving kindness and forgiveness. And especially today, I have really been working to engage. Well, this week I've really been working to engage in the practice of forgiveness. The topic that was suggested by the Centers for Spiritual Living today was only peripherally required for me to actually express today. I'm disregarding the planned topic to talk about something that I think is a lot more important. It's certainly more important to me, and it's certainly timely for what's happening in the world right now. Every morning, or every morning. Every morning I go to Starbucks, but I was going to say specifically this morning, and every Sunday morning, I go to Starbucks. The Starbucks that is in the it's actually in my building. If I go down to the first floor, I know it's dangerous. It is so dangerous. So there's a Starbucks in my building, and on Sunday mornings, it opens at 6 a.m., and I'm always the first one to go in and order coffee. And it's because I get up and, I start prepping for the Sunday morning experience. And I was in there today, and I can't remember the barista's name, but the barista, they know that I serve as a spiritual director, and so they asked me, so what's up? Do you have your talk written today yet? And I'm like, well, I'm working on it right now. And I said to the barista this morning, I said, this has been a rough week to be a spiritual director. This has been a rough week to be a spiritual director, to be in a place of spiritual leadership, because of everything that seems to be falling apart in the world. And it seems to have ramped up this week for some reason. The energy of the world has allowed this to ramp up. And so I've had a rough week. in terms of allowing myself to go through the process that I need to go through my own spiritual practice, to come to the place where I need to come to so that I can be present and available to you on a Sunday morning. And this isn't the first time that I've had this kind of experience where something has happened in the world of form that I then have to really wrap my mind around from a spiritual perspective to really get in touch with the infinite truth of it all. This is a long way of saying even spiritual directors are challenged. And so if you're feeling challenged by what's happening in the world this week, that's okay. You can allow yourself to feel challenged. You can allow yourself to feel challenged. So I actually started writing out, and I don't usually do this, I usually do the notes for whatever it is I have to say on a Sunday morning. I actually started writing out the notes a couple days ago because I really, really wanted to be very clear on what it is I was going to offer today. And this is the first thing that I'm going to start with. I am a person of privilege. I am a person of privilege. And I have to recognize that I have privilege. I have privilege in this world. And it's a sad thing because the privilege is basically based on my gender and the color of my skin. I had to come to a real deep, deep realization of that this week. And this was really, really a profound shift in how I choose to approach the world now. In recognizing that I am a person of privilege, I have also realized that I subconsciously take advantage of this privilege. And I speak only about my own experience right now. I subconsciously take advantage of my privilege in this world, and it is not meant to be malicious in any way. It is the result of systemic isms and phobias that are built into our culture, that we are taught in our culture. Racism, sexism, homophobia, xenophobia, any ism or phobia is taught. Remember I talked about that a couple weeks ago? It is all taught to us. But it is built into our culture. Very, very profoundly, very deeply. And I've really been challenged with this, especially this week. Ernest Holmes gave it's a very, very popular talk now in the late 1950s at the Asilomar Conference Grounds in Central California, which is where our spiritual gathering used to be every summer. And he gave what is now referred to very frequently as the Sermon by the Sea, his final Sermon by the Sea before he made his transition the next year. In the Sermon by the Sea, he had this one line that has always stuck with me, and I find it to be very apropos right now. He said, "Find me one person who is for something and against nothing, who is redeemed enough not to condemn others out of the burden of his soul, and I will find another Savior, another Jesus, and an exalted human being." Find me one person who is for something and against nothing. We are taught to be against things. That's where fear develops. That's where isms develop and phobias come to the surface and get expressed in ways that we're probably even subconsciously aware of. There are things that happen below the level of our awareness. And I don't want to spend my time berating us for it, because here's the opportunity. In the recognition of it, we can now step into something new. And I think that that's what the world is going through right now. The world is screaming for something new to be expressed. And it is looking to be expressed by means of each and every one of us. I also had this thought this week when I was thinking about what I wanted to say today, that in some ways I allow myself to be too careful. And I've pushed up against the edge of this in my time here as the spiritual director. I've pushed up against the edge of what I'm comfortable with and what I'm not comfortable with saying from up here. Because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. At the core of it, I want everybody to like me. I mean, don't we all want everybody to like us? And so I have stepped back from saying things that are challenging, which is why I wanted to start today with saying something that was challenging, because I was challenged with it this week, which is I am a person of privilege. What I realized is my silence is equivalent to tacit approval in the world of things that are happening. If I remain silent, I am giving my approval tacitly. My silence equals complicity. My silence now equals death. Because I did not have a willingness to stand up and say what needed to be said when it needed to be said. And so I'm standing up today to say what needs to be said. And yet, I've been faced with this problem that I speak for a living. That is what I do. I speak for a living. Well, it's a part of what I do. I do a lot of other things. But I've struggled with knowing what to say. I don't know what to say. There's I'm friended up with this guy on Facebook who is, he's a, yeah, I'm going to say it. He's like a D-list celebrity in kind of in the gay circles. He's very funny, but he posted something on Facebook just this morning. His name is Brian Safi, by the way. He wrote this, and it really struck me. He said, if you don't have the words to express what has happened this week, find them. And if you don't know how to find them, then just listen. Listen really hard. Listen hard and know that your privilege, if you're lucky enough to have it, recognize that it's unfair. And then find the words and say something. Change yourself, change the world, because violence isn't the answer. Violence isn't the answer. And we're seeing too many people go to that thinking it's the answer. So here's what I come up with. If I don't know what to say, I need to spend more time listening. And so that's what I have done. If we think we know, spend more time listening. Because it may be that we're operating only under our preconceived notion. So we must spend more time listening. I wrote about that on Facebook this week in a post that actually caused quite a stir among a number of people. I said basically, if you are compelled to unfriend people because they're expressing their opinion on Facebook, that's the time when we need to really look at that opinion. Because if it's challenging our opinion, what happens is if we unfriend them, if we unfollow them, and we start to put ourselves into a box, we create an echo chamber of only the things that we agree with. And that's one of the most dangerous things we can do. Because that's what leads to isms and phobias. And so we must take time to listen. We must take time to step into a deeper, deeper place of hearing what needs to be heard. And if it's being expressed, it needs to be heard. Last week, I left here and I was so excited to get myself down to the Pride Parade, right? And I was at the Pride Parade, and we were there. Nick was with us, and Dane and I were there on Young. We were on Young, right? Yes, we were on Young. Right in front of the Aura, the big residential high-rise right at Girard. And we're standing there, and so the Dykes on Bikes, which always open every Pride Parade everywhere in the world, the Dykes on Bikes come through, and then this one float comes through, and then nothing. And nothing, and nothing, and nothing, and nothing. And I finally said, all right, I'm done waiting. My legs were tired. I had been standing there in preparation for the parade and for what I saw of the parade, I had already been there for like 2 hours. And I said, okay, I'm done. So I walked away. I had no idea what was happening just up the street. I only found out later in news reports that Black Lives Matter was staging a protest. When I found out about this, my initial gut reaction was annoyance at how it had affected my experience. And I'm so sorry for that initial gut reaction now. I had to take a really good, hard look at that. In knowing what had happened and knowing what had stopped the parade, I then went and I looked at what the demands, what the suggestions, I don't really want to call them demands. I want to know what are the suggestions of Black Lives Matter, what the protesters were offering. And nothing that I read seemed unreasonable. Nothing I read seemed unreasonable. And now there's this whole thing about pride may or may not adhere to it. They just wanted to get the parade going again. I will let that play out as it needs to play out. Nothing seemed unreasonable, and then I got to this one sticking point, and this is what has been a sticking point for a lot of people, and that is what kind of has come up in the media as well, is that there is an intention to eliminate police participation in the Pride Parade. And so what I'm faced with is in opposition to what is being expressed by the protesters in Black Lives Matter, which is my feeling, and I want to be very clear, this is my opinion, and I'm just expressing my opinion, and I invite you to either agree or disagree, but know what you believe. My opinion is that in 35 years, progress in the LGBT community, healing in the LGBT community has happened and was now feeling challenged to me. And it's being challenged by those within my community who are feeling disenfranchised. Because their experience is the experience of other. There's a perception of other. And I'm challenged with my own feeling and my own place of more deeply understanding what it is that I teach and I know, which is, what is it that you said this morning? Diversity and unity. Spirit is diversity and unity all at once. There is room for all of it. I don't know how I feel about the potential of the police being excluded from the Pride Parade. What I do feel is that when we start to exclude, we're going in the direction of fear, and when we include, we are inviting love, compassion, and kindness to rule. So this is a couple days early in the week, and then Anton Sterling and Philando Castile and Dallas. And the world feels like it's falling apart. And so I'm challenged. And scapegoating doesn't help. There is no one person, nor is there a subset of people to blame. There's no one that can be blamed for systemic isms and phobias. We are all responsible. Each and every one of us is responsible for stepping into something new, to allow love and kindness and respect and compassion to be the only option for how we show up in the world, and to listen to every single voice that is out there screaming to be heard. It is up to us to do that. And no one can do it for us. And remember, if we are silent, we are tacitly giving our approval. Compassionate listening is where I come to today. We cannot expect any change unless we are willing to participate. We cannot expect any change unless we are willing to participate actively in that change. Self-awareness means nothing. This is a philosophy that is grounded in deepening our self-awareness. I think, therefore I am. My life shows up according to my thoughts and beliefs and feelings. And it starts to feel very insulated. It starts to feel very much like all we care about is ourself. That happens. That self-awareness, however, must lead to self-actualization. Self-actualization occurs through action. So if we truly intend to be spiritual in this world, develop self-awareness, take action on that self-awareness, and allow that to become self-actualization, because that is when we are lifted up to a greater experience of self, to a greater experience of the divine in all things. Every single activity this week is divine. That's a hard thing, too, to hear. Everything is divine. For at the core of every single activity, at the core of all of it, is one idea, and that is God is at play in all of this. God, not a person, God, the activity and action and creative spirit of love. Self-actualization begins to allow us to eliminate the idea that we must create enemies. And we do create enemies. If you have anyone that you find as an enemy in your life, you have created that person as an enemy in your life. How can you love them? How can you love them? Allow that one kernel of love, that one little place where you can love them, to begin to expand and grow and see what happens. We're taught to create enemies. And it's very insidious how we are taught. We are taught in media in subtle and not so subtle ways, actually. Sometimes it's not so subtle. We are influenced. And this goes against the fundamental aspect of unity in our teaching. One of the responses on this post that I made on Facebook this week, which is essentially about learning to listen, was from one of our community members, Tom Zamara. Hello, Tom. I know you're watching online. He sent me this link to an essay by Charles Eisenstein. And I read the whole essay, and there was one thing in particular that stood out to me, and I wanted to share it. And it's this. If we want to produce something other than endless variations of the same result, we have to transcend the customary terms of discourse and examine the false truisms that become transparent only when things fall apart. I will say it again. If we want to produce something other than endless variations of the same result, we have to transcend the customary terms of discourse and examine the false truisms that become transparent only when things fall apart. A lot has been revealed this week because a lot has fallen apart this week. But at the core of it, we could have, I truly believe, this could have been avoided if we had truly transcended what we took to be. There's a word that I'm looking for, all of a sudden it's not coming to me. But it is there. This is the truth. The word is there. Everything was present for our understanding. But when we turn a blind eye to it, that's when things fall apart. We have to move beyond silence. We have to move into action. We are a community that is grounded in an idea of social justice. We are grounded in social justice. I firmly believe this. There are people within this philosophy that would say, no, we need to just be spiritual. No. Spirituality means nothing without action. That's why we say, treat and move your feet. Pray and let the prayer impel you into action in the world. That's the reason we pray, for something to occur through the changing of our own mind. You know, I do say and I teach, prayer is for one purpose. Affirmative prayer is for one purpose, and that is to change the mind, to change our own minds. But in that change of mind, there must be an impulse to action. Otherwise, what are we praying for? What are we praying for? If it doesn't change something in our world of effect, in the world of form, what are we praying for? So this is what I am calling upon this community to do. Number one, listen. Listen. Listen to what's being said. Listen to the opinions that you might not agree with. Listen to it all and allow yourself to become more informed, more understood, more understanding of other viewpoints. And from that place, practice compassion daily. Practice compassion daily. 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 And I'm talking about purposeful practice, not reactionary practice. Don't get yourself to the point of things have fallen apart in your own life, because we're seeing the macrocosm. This also occurs in the microcosm. We can get ourselves to the point of something has happened in our lives, and then we go to spiritual practice. Then we go to expressing compassion. Then we go to daily compassion, daily spiritual practice. I am saying we must be at the forefront of purposeful living, of saying, I have a mind and I know how to use it to better this world, to better this experience of life. This is how we begin to rise up. This is how we begin to rise up above the limitations of our own making, to rise up to a greater awareness of our own personal prejudices, to rise up to structures that empower disenfranchisement and say, this is not acceptable. So are we willing to rise up? Are we willing to rise up? Do you have a willingness to rise up? I'm so grateful to hear that. There is a point that I think is important that I do want to offer for context, because what we have seen, especially these, it's our neighbors to the south. We cannot be complacent with the idea that in Canada, we are ranked number 2 in the world for tolerance and inclusion. We must not be complacent in that idea. There was an article on Maclean's that has started to go around, and this is one thing that I want to offer from that. By almost every measurable indicator, the Aboriginal population in Canada is treated worse and lives with more hardship than the African American population. All these facts tell us one thing: Canada has a race problem too. We have an opportunity to do something through our compassionate expression of life, to listen, to more deeply understand. And this is what I call upon this community to do today. We have to take a good look in the mirror and ask some hard questions. What am I doing today to love more? What am I doing today to be of service? What am I doing today that expands me and those around me? We must not only ask, we must live the answers. We must rise up above theoretical principles. We must rise up to see what is beyond platitudes or the expectation that someone else will take action. We must rise up above this. We must rise up to action in our lives, and not just for ourselves, but in support of the good of all humanity. So today, let us be for something and against nothing and take action. Namaste.
Question.
Yes.
Social media,
Mm-hmm.
I think, fuels the fear.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're listening to people, my experience this week was it was very difficult not to react.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's where the listening came in. But it was that fine line of, I watched so many people react from a place of fear and hatred, and it just went, and oh, they did a sin, and they did a sin, and it just was, I had moments where I was like, please, everybody just needs to shut up.
I don't disagree. I think one of the dangers, especially with Facebook, is that they've created algorithms to basically support the box. Here's what you can do. Get off of social media for a while and start to inform yourself in other ways. Social media can be a great tool. Social media can also be a very, very powerful weapon. And I think we're seeing both sides of that right now. So you're at choice. We're all at choice in terms of how we proceed. Let's take a breath, because I know this was a difficult talk. This was a difficult talk for me to give today. And I'm grateful for your willingness to hear it.
We are grateful.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I refuse to live my life in fear. And so, what needs to be said, I commit to this community. I will say what needs to be said. And I will always, always look to what is the spiritual nature within it, because that's what I am committed, that's what I've committed my life to do, is to see the spiritual in everything. And so thank you. Thank you. I see the spiritual in Facebook, even though it can be a real challenge sometimes. But you know what? I also, whenever I post on Facebook, I also really try to be very clear that what I offer has to be uplifting. It cannot be in reaction. It has to be in action. So there we are. Let's relax. Let's take out whatever it is we're offering today. I invite you to hold your gift in your hand, whether you call it your tithe, your investment in the center, your financial contribution. I am grateful to every single person who gives in this community and to the support that you offer to ensure that the message of love and kindness and gratitude and respect is proliferated in this world. So hold this in your hand and let's read together the divine givingness statement, which is on your song sheet, which I had here and is now gone. That's okay. I think I know it by heart. Here we go. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that Spirit is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of my spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so as the baskets go around, we're going to sing, "Thank You for This Day." It's very simple. It's call and response. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Sing that.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This healing, this healing, this healing 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 day.
Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends.
Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends.
Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends.
Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends.
My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful 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 friends.
And so I'm going to invite Judy up to the front as the baskets come up to offer a blessing over what we have received today.
We are grateful. This center is grateful. This community is grateful for the beautiful, loving gifts, the blessings in these baskets. Thank you for contributing to the vision of this beautiful spiritual center that we are all a part of. We are one, and we are all in this together, and we are all grateful. I remember who each of us is. We are all contributors to the well-being of this center, this city, this country, this planet. We are one. And so, with deepest gratitude, I release these words, knowing it is so. And together we say, and so it is.
What should we be thankful for now?
Peace.
Peace. Thank you for peace, Spirit. Thank you for peace.
Thank you for peace, Spirit. Thank you for peace.
Thank you for peace, Spirit. Thank you for peace.
Thank you for peace, Spirit. Thank you for peace.
This inclusive peace.
Inclusive peace.
This inclusive peace.
Inclusive peace.
I said thank you.
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 Thank you. And invite, yes, there she is. And invite Helen up to offer some announcements. Hi, Helen.
Hello.
Reverend Helen Velo.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning to everybody online. Yes, I do have some announcements. First of all, though, I have a question. How many of you are signed up to receive our weekly emails? Aha. If you're not signed up, please go to the bookstore, and there is a form for you to sign up and receive the weekly email, because that gives you tons of information. Now, having said that, I also ask for those of you who do receive the weekly email to please open it and read it. And here's why. Because I put these weekly emails together. I send one out Wednesday morning and one on Friday morning. I put a lot of effort into that email. Okay, now I'm going to go into martyr. One of the things that is my intention in putting together the email is not only to give you the information of what's happening in the center, it's to give you links to inspirational videos, a quote of the day, fun things, and just make it something that's really fun and interesting to read and have a look at. So open them, please.
They're wonderful, by the way, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, I have some announcements. One thing that was not in the announcements this week and will be in for next week is our painting party that is going to happen on Monday, August 27th. And that is with Jane Roos at her art gallery. You can sign up for that at the bookstore. Just put your name down, Margaret Ann will take it. The cost is $200. You walk away with a beautiful painting, and I mean beautiful. And it's a fundraiser for the center. So $75 of the $200 comes back to the center. And we need to have a minimum of 10 people, I believe, to make that happen. So you can sign up for that at the bookstore. Foundations for Better Living is still going on. That's our Basic Science of Mind 101, where you learn how to do treatment, affirmative prayer. You learn the fundamentals of this teaching, and it is free on Tuesday nights. So, and it's amazing. We have a testimonial from the audience.
Yay!
Yay! Great class. You can drop in. You can take the whole series, not to be missed. There's also Metaphysics and Metaphor in the Bible. And that is on Wednesday nights. You can also drop in for that class. Conferences.
I guess we're not going to have a testimonial from the audience for that one.
It's a very metaphysical Bible class.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And great, because you really get to know and understand that within the Bible, which is the most read book in the world, that there's a lot of metaphysics. That's what it is. And there have been so many misconceptions. So it's a great way to really understand that and how it relates back to our teachings.
Yes.
Now, we also have yoga practice that happens on Saturdays and Sundays upstairs at 8 a.m. with Harold. We have meditation every Wednesday from 6 to 6:45. And this Wednesday, we also have a social event. And that is because I went singing last Wednesday. I don't know if any of you have heard of Choir. Fantastic opportunity to sing and really sound amazing, because I'm not a singer and I sounded really good. This happens at the Clinton Tavern at Clinton and Bloor. It's $5. We're going to meet at 7:45 p.m. this Wednesday. The singing starts at 8, so it's from 8 to 10. You get divided into the high people, the middle people, and the low people in voice, not in size. Otherwise, I'd be in the really low with a very high voice.
And I'd
you'd
be in the very high
with a very low voice. Well, no, you're more tenor, I think. Alto.
Lyric baritone.
Okay, so he's low. No.
If I'm gonna get technical.
Okay, they don't get that technical at choir. It is so much fun. These guys who run it are hilarious, totally irreverent, completely irreverent. So if you are completely against swearing, then you might not want to show up. They are so funny. They are talented in making this happen with a whole group of people. And at the end of the night, you are singing your heart out. It's fun. So I'll see you there at 7:45 on Wednesday. And the information is in your program. We have a new membership Sunday. So for anyone who's signed up to be a member at the center, that will be happening on Sunday, July 24th. And then there are also a couple of conference events. One is the Circle of Love Gathering in October, and another one in San Diego called the Engaged Spirituality Conference. And these are in your program as well. And I think that's it.
Sure.
That's
All right.
it for today. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Helen. If you haven't gotten enough of whatever it is I have to say every week, I am speaking at the Circle of Love Gathering in Vancouver in October, and they have it's an intimate conference experience. They only have 80 people. They only have 80 registered attendees, and so it's an opportunity to be really intimate with. Wow, that could be taken so many inappropriate ways. It's an opportunity to get intimate with some leaders in this community, and the music is going to be great. It's put on by Lisa Ferraro and Erica Luckett and Dr. David Leonard from Atlanta. I'm really looking forward to it. This is going to be my first Circle of Love gathering, and I'm so excited for it. So if that is, you can check out the website there and get all the information about how to make it there. All right, let's take a breath. We have always the deepest opportunity to express something new in this world, to more profoundly know what it is that we stand for, and to let that be our guide through spirit and nothing else. And so I invite us all to simply allow ourselves to go deeper. Just go deeper. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready. ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever been has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Today I tap into my inner power and operate from that source, the one source, the only thing that is ever unfolding itself, the divine creative nature of the universe, for that is all there is. It is constantly unfolding in terms of love, life, light, peace, power, beauty, joy. It is reaching for the deepest expression of these things by means of each and every one of us, for we are each of us perfect individualized expressions of this one creative, infinite power. In spirit, through the expression of diversity, we are unified. For at the core, we are all the same. We are love. We are love. And I allow myself to stand for this more firmly today and in every moment that follows, deepening into love, deepening into compassion, deepening into kindness, allowing myself to hear what needs to be heard and to understand it from that deepest spiritual perspective that allows me to step into a deeper sense of self-awareness, leading into action and self-actualization that lifts the entire expression of humanity up. For we are on the precipice of something greater. And in the commitment to live this greatness, we create a world that works for all. I trust this and I know this and I allow this to be how we each unfold in our own unique, individualized, personal way. I'm so grateful for this knowledge. I'm so grateful for this understanding, and I'm so grateful for everything that has transpired to make this experience what it is today, a transformative experience for good. I'm grateful to our board members, Lynette and Jim, in their service today. I'm grateful for Helen and her brilliance. I'm grateful for Sandra, our greeter today. I'm grateful for Margaret Ann in the bookstore, Lori for setting up, Mira for cleaning up following service. I'm grateful for Lasia on sound. I'm grateful for Jim on our webcast. I'm grateful to Mahala and Harold, who are with our dynamic youth today. I'm grateful to the entire Queen Street Band for your brilliant service. I am grateful to Jackie for your beautiful meditation. I am grateful to Judy for your inspired words of wisdom. And I'm grateful to this community for the depth of understanding that I am afforded by being in association with you. I am grateful. So in gratitude, I simply allow this word spoken to be complete in the expression of itself. I trust and know that it is so, as together we say, and so it is. "'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul. Let's kick it into the street with Peace Like a River.
I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain in my soul. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain in my soul. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean in my soul. I got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean in my soul.
Nice and quiet now, everybody.
I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got a peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I got a peace like a river in my soul. Let's bring it home. I got a peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I got peace like a river.